Oh, hey everybody, it's Stephen Ritz
Linda Saitek.
and we are the Abode home team at Keller Williams Winter Park, and just wanted to say Happy New Year.
I know. When do you stop saying Happy New Year?
I think after 2020, you can say Happy New Year at the beginning of each month.
That's true. That's true. Thank God. 2020 is finally over, right? And now it's
it is. And now it's 2021. And what a better way to start, because the real estate market is still hot. It's amazing, right?
It's absolutely amazing how hot it is right now.
Exactly. And there are more buyers on the market right now than there are sellers. So we're going to talk about sort of whether you're a first-time home buyer or a luxury buyer who's owned many properties, 2021 can still be a challenge to find a new home. And as real estate agents, we've seen many people going about the new home buying process in the worst possible way. I mean, they're not getting the steps right. They're not following what we would do and what we would recommend. How dare they?
And so we're here to talk about the steps to be successful in your home buying purchase.
Exactly. And if your New Year's resolution is to purchase a home in 2021, these are really the steps that you would behoove yourself to follow. Oh, I got that word in there, behoove. It would behoove yourself to follow these steps that we're going to cover today to really set yourself up for success in purchasing a home in 2021.
So what's the first and most important step?
I'm glad you asked me, because I really, and this could take some time, this first step, but it truly is the first step, and it's choosing the right agent off the bat to help you with your home buying search, because they're going to give you a timeline of what steps to take. Sort of what we're doing today, but they're going to hold your hand through it. Yeah. So making the home, when people start looking, they always start search on websites, right? Everyone starts looking online.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Especially during the pandemic, when you're at home and you're on your iPad sitting in front of the TV and looking at house listings. And so many people, I can't tell you, I get calls and texts from people saying, Steve, what about this house? And I say, are you ready to meet up and talk about purchasing a house? Well, no, but can we go see this one? And I'm like, well, hold on a second. If you're not going to buy it, why do you want to see it right now? Because it's not going to be available when you're ready to buy it.
Yep.
It's just one of the steps. And you're going to waste so much time investigating a house, putting your furniture in each room, which I know is a fun in your mind, which is a fun thing. Investing of what you would do to it. And you're just wasting your own time because that house is not going to be available and you're ready to buy it. So you get frustrated on that. And I don't want any of my clients, who are a lot of friends as well too, to be frustrated. So that's why your first step when considering buying a home is to find and contact an agent that you trust. If it's not me, make sure it's or Linda. I work with buyers mostly. Linda works with listings. That's why I'm saying it that way on our team. But working with a buyer's agent that you trust, that has experience and can negotiate on your behalf and knows the ups and downs of certain houses is going to be the best choice. It's sort of like, and also I've said this before, this is sort of weird, but it's almost like finding an agent is to someone to date, because you're going to have to coach them through some different, you're going to spend a lot of time with them. You might be having a drink with them after the showings to discuss what house you want to buy.
Yeah.
You know?
And really, one of the first steps is finding the agent, but also sitting down and talking to you and having a buyer consultation.
Exactly.
It's really important. Going back to, oh, that's a pretty house, I just want to see it. Well, you're asking all those questions, sitting down and then walking through the steps, right?
That's exactly, yeah, that's great. That's a great point. So when you're meeting with this agent, you've decided on this agent, you want to sit down and not just go call and say, hey, let's go see houses, just like Linda said, because that's not going to get you what you want. You need to actually sit down with the agent and talk with them about the process and what they're willing to do for you so that their expectations can meet your expectations. And so everyone has a good transaction through the process, that they also recognize your timeline. You may need to buy something right away, Or you may say, I'm going to take a couple months to find the right house because I have time between when my lease is ending. That's a good thing to know. Because there's a lot of steps to do. We're going to cover some of them when you're setting that up. And if you've never bought a house before, it takes a whole village to buy a house sometimes, from the title agent to the lender to the other agent to home inspectors to the agent that you've already selected to help you through the process.
Yeah, there could be up to 22 people involved in a real estate transaction.
That's a lot of people.
Having a buyer's agent that you trust is extremely important.
Exactly. So let's take it before we go to the next step. So that first step is finding the right agent to help guide you through the process. But let's introduce ourselves because people might have just joined us. Joining me today is
Linda Sitek.
Hey, Linda Sitek. And Stephen Ritz. We are the Abode team at Keller Williams Winter Park. And we're here to talk to you about if your New Year's resolution is to buy a house in 2021, these are really the steps that you need to go through.
Exactly.
That's what we're going to go through today for you.
Yeah. So can you talk about exactly what it means to get your finances in order when you're buying a house?
Sure. I have to take a drink from this big blue cup here.
It's a pretty color, Steve.
It matches my eyes.
It looks like a face.
It's a huge cup. You're right. So getting your finances in order means you really need to set up a budget and to find out what you're able to spend when getting a mortgage. And that means speaking to a trusted mortgage lender, maybe someone you've used before or someone that your agent recommends. The only reason an agent recommends a lender is because they know that mortgage lender can get the job done. Mm-hmm. They want you to have the best customer service and that they're going to surpass your expectations and close on that property when they say they're going to close on that property. And for that reason, personally, Linda and I don't recommend using a big bank. The big banks out there, they're okay at banking, but they're not great at loans and getting mortgages, right?
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah,
exactly.
Lender is extremely important.
It is. So that means getting an idea of the purchase process, verifying the budget and purchasing of a new home, reviewing the financial responsibilities in the home purchasing process, because it's not just paying for the home and putting 20% down. I have worked with a buyer before who said, we put an offer together and they said, okay, I'm going to put 20% down. And I said, great. And closing costs for yourself could average between $10,000 to $12,000 on this particular property. He goes, I didn't know I had to have that money as well. I'm like, well, your lender should have talked to you about that. So I now cover that in all of my briefings, just in case the lender doesn't. Because you also have expenses like inspections, appraisals, right? And those things are paid up front.
Yeah.
And inspections could be as much as $600 to $1,000, depending on what inspections you have. And it's worth the money because the home you're having inspected is probably one of the largest assets you own. Exactly. So you better make sure it's in good shape and that there's no trouble down the road. And if there is, then maybe your agent can help negotiate the price again of something you didn't know that was unexpected. Or you walk away because it's not worth it. I've had clients do that. Linda, you've done that before, I know too. It's just the best situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we talked about different mortgages. And so getting your finance in order means that you need to have what's called a pre-approval letter. That pre-approval mortgage letter is what describes the outline for your loan, whether it's a FHA loan and you're putting 3.5% down. FHA loan, I got to say that slowly. Or a VA loan because you're a military loan of some type. Or a conventional loan. And conventional loans, you can get as low as 3% down, 5% down, 10% down, 20% down. You can put more down. A conventional loan is what's the most preferred type of loan, mostly from a seller's perspective. And so that pre-approval letter is going to be used when you put an offer in, because you cannot put an offer in on a property without a pre-approval letter. The other agent just will not look at it because they probably already have other offers in queue. And you have to be ready and have all your ducks in a line, ducks in a row, ducks in the water. I don't know what the term is.
Ducks in a row. But also, if you're paying cash, you want to be able to have proof of funds as well. And so that's important to have up front.
Yeah, because a lot of sellers require proof of funds or even a pre-approval letter before setting up an appointment nowadays, because they want as little looky-loos through a house as possible if it's owner occupied with COVID.
Exactly.
So, but let's go on to the next step too. So financing is number 2.
Yep. So what's number 3?
Determining your needs and wants in a home. So we've already talked about finding your agent, and we've talked about getting your finances in order. And that's going to help determine what you can afford and what you want in a home. Because you may say
what you want to pay.
Right, exactly. Because determining your needs and wants, like I want a tennis court in my backyard. I want to have an 8-car garage. I want to have a guest house in back, so that when people come to visit, they don't stay in my house.
Like it. That's
okay. Nothing like it.
Sorry.
No, that's funny.
Caddyshack.
It is. But those wants and needs may not align with your financial situation.
Yeah.
So that's why getting your finances in order first gives you a parameter of how much to spend, and then you can sort of whittle down your want list to what you can get. And you might be able to get everything in your want list. Don't let me tell you can't. We have to be.
It just helps narrow it down and really be focused, because you can be like a squirrel and be all over the place. So it really helps you understand what is important to you, of the size, the location. Do you need a yard? Things to that extent.
Right. A lot of people say, I don't need 4 bedrooms, but I need 3 bedrooms plus an office space. Well, that's a big difference in searching, because now I can search for 3-bedroom homes that I know has a dedicated office space that might not be a 4th bedroom. So it might open up some more opportunities. And everything else you just said as well, too, with a yard or garage or anything like that. So there's a lot of different things out there that can help you determine what you want. But it's really just a pros and cons list and making a list of things. So that way you can check things out online, and your agent has criteria to set up the search fields for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the next step number 4, you kind of already covered.
I guess I did a little.
Yeah. Which is get a pre-approval letter from a direct mortgage lender.
Right. When we were talking about finances, what I didn't cover was sometimes the lender at that stage is going to say, well, now's not the time to buy because you need to save up more money. You need to get your debt to income ratio more in line so I can get you a better rate. Because rates are really good right now. They're below 3%.
It's like free money.
But not everybody is eligible for that rate.
Correct. Yeah.
A lot of people, if they're first-time home buyers, or they don't have enough credit established, or they have a very expensive car payment versus what they will need, then they might need to pay down a credit card, pay down a car payment. Actually, you can do that. Yeah. And that's where the lender is going to help you through that process. And so this stage here, we did touch on before, so we'll just briefly go over it. It's getting a pre-approval letter from the direct mortgage lender. And we already told you what that's for. Yeah. So if we want, do you want to do another introduction just in case people like, who are these 2 people talking on this screen about?
Sure. I'm Linda Sytek, and
I'm Linda Sytek's partner, Stephen Ritz. Nice to meet you.
Nice.
And we're with the Abode home team at Keller Williams Winter Park. And we have a lot of fun together, but we take real estate very serious in regard that it is the number 1 purchase most people make. And we love what we do.
Absolutely.
That's simple.
Love helping people.
Yeah. Oh, so the steps we've discussed thus far are, if you're going to buy a house in 2021, these are the steps you should really set up for your news resolution to buy a house: is finding a good real estate agent, talking to a direct lender to get your finances in order, deciding on your wants and needs in a house, and then getting a pre-approval letter from the lender after they've run your credit, they've done employment verification, and that can take a day or 2 sometimes, because you can fill out an application online, and then they run your credit, and you provide some tax statements and things like that, because you want to be pre-approved, not pre-qualified, but pre-approved is more in-depth research of your financial stability than just getting a pre-qualification letter, which you can just get online and print out on your own printer at home. So, but the next step is
start touring homes. So that's step number 5. Yeah, yeah. So, Steve, what are some tips for planning effective home tours?
So it's my favorite part of the job. I'm nosy. I like to see inside people's homes. You can see sort of inside my home from behind the screen here. We all like looking, what's behind Linda on the Zoom desk? Oh, there's an orchid I see. And, so we're all interested in what's in people's homes. And I have the keys to get inside these homes. So what that means is that it's not just randomly going and checking the homes, because we've already narrowed down our search. We've set up showings, and homes aren't on the market that long in a lot of these price ranges because they sell so quickly. So we have to be very effective with our timing and figuring out the best way to do it. So you need to have the agent you've chosen needs to be very responsive as well too. And don't be surprised if you are writing 1 or 2 offers before the third one sticks in today's marketplace. Yeah. Because even though you may put an above list price offer in on a house, even though you're doing a conventional loan with 20% down, and you may do a short inspection period, someone might say, okay, I'm going to buy it for cash. And the seller might choose them over you. Nothing personal, but that does happen sometimes.
Yeah, especially in this market. We were just looking at Baldwin Park in Orlando, a neighborhood has over 2,000 homes in the neighborhood itself right now, and that's condo, townhouses, single family homes. Only 11 of them are on the market out of 2,000. It's just it's crazy. So buyers do need to be prepared to probably write a couple of offers.
Yeah, and about a year ago there were about 40 homes on the market, and today there's 11. It's nuts. So step number 6, let's just pop into step number 6, because start touring homes, that's pretty much, self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It's to get an offer ready and get the offer accepted. So when you're getting ready to put an offer together with agents' help, you need to, as I mentioned before, come up with a way that your offer is going to be a clean offer, meaning that if you don't have to, don't ask for the seller to contribute to closing costs. My brother bought a house 4 years ago and he had the seller pay all the closing costs. That was a different market when your brother bought the house. Today, it's very difficult. If you have to sell your house first and make it contingent on the sale of your house before buying the next house,
it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell to a seller.
It's a hard sell too. And the way I bring that up to my client is like, okay, when you had your house on the market and you got offers, were you okay taking an offer that the other buyer's house wasn't even on the market yet and hadn't gone under contract, and you didn't know when they were closing, and you had another offer that was exactly the same? Wouldn't you choose the offer that didn't have the contingency of selling a house? You're like, well, yeah, if I'm selling my own house. I said, well, now you're asking a seller to do the same thing for you, and we're not in that marketplace right now. So putting that offer together is really, it's really an art form. And once again, even no matter how clean an offer you write, sometimes it might not be accepted. So we had a client who, I'll do a little story. Do I have time? Yep, I have a couple minutes. So a client, we saw the house the first weekend it came on the market. They only had showings during open houses on a Saturday and open house on a Sunday. And they said it was a nice house, medium price, $318,000, and had a pool, and it was nicely updated. And all of a sudden, my client says, I do want to put an offer in. I said, great. I'll call the agent. I'm sure they're going to have a couple offers. And so we put an offer in. They accepted all offers on Monday by 5:00. And the agent said, Steve, I confirmed your offer. I just want to let you know we got 22 offers the first weekend. And this is not a $100,000 condo. This is a $300,000 plus home.
Yeah.
And I said, oh gosh. And they said, so if your client wants to increase their offer, we're going to do highest and best tomorrow by noon. Okay. So my client increased their offer by about $4,000. And then the agent called me back and said, Steve, you wrote a really good offer, but there's still 3 offers higher than your buyer's offer. Will your buyer go any higher? And my buyer said, no, if it's not meant to be, I'm not going to get this house. And so we stopped. And 2 days later, the agent called back and he said, Steve, the seller's going to accept your offer, even though it's less than some of the other offers, because they believe you're going to get to the closing table. Because my client ended up putting 40% down, I think 35 to 40% down, as opposed to 20% down.
And you had a
And
relationship with the agent too, so he knows that you work with buyers all the time and that you can get to the closing table.
exactly. So that's where the choosing the right agent who has the reputation and experience, and that other agents know and like and respect that they can get to the closing table and expect that, then that helps any little bit you need to get over the edge. And so this person, we did put in the offer, and they accepted it, and the house ended up appraising 10,000 more than the contract price even. So very, very happy. My only point was 22 offers. Oh my gosh. So anyway, so that's where we come in to finally help. And there's one last step, by the way.
So the seventh step is close on your offer. So how long does that take usually?
So that's about 35 to 45 days. So your offer's accepted, and to close on the offer, to get to that stage, there's a whole bunch of stuff in between, like inspections, appraisal, financing, getting insurance on the home, all those sort of things to get to the closing table.
And timelines are really important. And if you, like on our team, we have a transaction coordinator. And so she helps us with, what I mentioned earlier, 22 people in transactions. So she keeps everybody in line, and time is very important to make sure that you're hitting all those timelines in that contract. So when you're looking for an agent too, you might want to ask the question, do you have a transaction coordinator that is helping facilitate to get to closing? Just because you got your offer accepted, there's a lot between point A and point B.
It is a legal binding contract, and people sort of forget that. And you have to get the escrow in at the right time, or the seller could cancel. You have to make sure that you do all your inspections right during the time period. And the same thing with financing. You know, there are certain time thresholds, time deadlines that you have to do. So, but here we have the experience to get to the closing table. And you learn something new in every transaction. It's amazing. And we learned a lot in 2020.
We sure did.
Ooh, some very interesting situations from the listing side and from the buy side too.
Yeah.
So
I think what we found is that that people really enjoy their homes, and that's why the market, I think, is so hot right now, because they have been that it's such an important it's such an important decision for them to make.
Exactly.
During that time.
Well, I just want to wrap up, and I do want to say thank you, Linda, for joining us today too. I'm glad you're able to be with us today. This is always fun. And if you want to make 2021 a memorable year and to fulfill your New Year's resolution in buying a house, then reach out to us. You can always reach me, Stephen Ritz, at Stephen@AbodeHomeTeam.com. My phone number is 321-277-8271. You can also find us on Facebook at Abode at Keller Williams Winter Park. I think that's our Facebook page name.
Well, yes, they're on Facebook now because it's Facebook Live.
Oh, great. Click on the link, people.
Yes. They can go to our website, AbodeHomeTeam.com. And if you enjoyed this content, please share it, because that's the way that we can get more viewership. And if you have any questions about buying, feel free to call Steve at 321-277-8271.
Exactly. So anybody has any questions, let us know. But thank you all for watching today, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.